Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, cop collapses, dies at a police training academy. A cop collapsed and died Tuesday morning at the police's Tranquility Bay Training Academy in Treasure Beach, St. Elizabeth. The deceased has been identified as 35-year-old Desmond Thompson, a former district constable. The news understands that about 7:30, after a session of physical exercise, the cop was returning to the barracks area when he collapsed. First aid was rendered and the cop was transported to the Black River Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Driver in fatal 2021 Bogwa Gorge crash gets a probation, fined $350,000. Malik Winter, the man behind the 2021 crash that resulted in the death of a woman when a minibus plunged into the Rio Cobre, was on Monday sentenced to 2 years probation and fined $350,000 or 12 months imprisonment in the St. Catherine Circuit Court. Justice Bertram Morrison also ordered that his driver's license be suspended for 1 year. Winter had pleaded guilty to a charge of causing death by dangerous driving in November 2023, but was not sentenced until yesterday. He was charged with the death of Valerie Ennis, 52, of the White House housing scheme St. Catherine. Winter was represented by attorney-at-law Oswest Senior Smith. Facts are that on June 8, 2021, Ennis was a passenger in a Toyota Hiace minibus that was heading towards Linstead from Spanish Town. The court further heard that while traveling along the roadway, a Toyota Fielder motor car, which was being driven by Winter, overtook a line of traffic and crashed into the minibus. The impact caused the Hiace to careen into the Rio Cobre. At least 8 persons, including Winter and a passenger in the Toyota Fielder, sustained injuries. Ennis, who was ejected from the minibus and was taken from the river by divers, was pronounced dead at hospital. An investigation was conducted by the St. Catherine North Traffic Department, which resulted in Winter's arrest. He was subsequently charged and made numerous court appearances. Buff Bay to Whitehall Road in Portland impassable due to flood. The National Works Agency has reported that the main road from Buff Bay to Whitehall in Portland is impassable due to flood waters. The road is blocked in the community of Craigmill, where the river is in spate, resulting from heavy rains affecting the parish. Stephen Shaw, communication manager at the NWA, said several other parts of Portland are being affected by the inclement weather. There are landslides on the main road from Eccles down to Muirton, while rockfalls have been reported along the Williamsfield to Haining Road. Mr. Shaw said contractors have been mobilized and the roads should be cleared before the end of this afternoon, weather permitting. Residents of flood-prone and the landslide-affected areas of Portland are being advised to exercise caution in their travels over the next several hours as the rains continue. A broad trough extending across the central and the western Caribbean has been generating unstable weather conditions over sections of Jamaica since Friday. The Meteorological Service has continued a flash flood watch for low-lying and the flood-prone areas of St. Mary, Portland, St. Catherine, Clarendon and Manchester, effective until 7 p.m. today. Gun found in abandoned building handed over to police in St. James. An illegal gun that was discovered in an abandoned building in Providence Heights, Montego Bay, St. James, was handed over to the police on Monday. The weapon was a .38 revolver. Reports from the Montego Bay police are that at about 12:01 p.m., the police received a call alerting them to the abandoned building. Upon their arrival, the firearm was handed over to them. No arrest was made in connection to the incident. Investigation continues. University Hospital chief doctor charged to go on trial for alleged assault of fellow consultant. Dr. Carl Bruce, consultant neurosurgeon and the medical chief of staff at the University Hospital of the West Indies, was this morning dragged before the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court in relation to an alleged fight with another consultant on the grounds of the hospital. A September 29 trial date was scheduled this morning after the complainant, Dr. Roger Hunter, refused to go to mediation. Both parties have been warned to refrain from posting about the case on social media. Bruce, who is charged with malicious destruction of property and assault at a common law, was bound over to return to court for trial. The incident allegedly occurred on January 31, 2007 at the hospital. Bruce is alleged to have physically, verbally, and emotionally abused the complainant on the day of the incident in the planning room of the operation theater at the hospital. Hunter is alleging that he was preparing for a surgery when Bruce barged in and shouted at him to get out. Bruce reportedly advanced at the complainant, shoving him before grabbing his shirt and necktie, damaging both. Both items are valued at $5,000. The complainant said he then shoved Bruce away, who he said threatened repeatedly to spit in his face before leaving the room. Hunter said he initially did not report the matter to the police as he thought it would have been dealt with internally. He later reported the matter in November 2024 after his return to the island. King's counsel Tom Tavares Finson and attorney-at-law Donovan Williams are representing Bruce. Attorney-at-law Kimani Burtson appeared for the hospital. Alleged gangster killed by gunmen in downtown Kingston. A man said to be a top-tier member of a West Kingston-based criminal gang was killed during an attack by gunmen Monday morning in downtown Kingston. Marlon Anthony Dyer, 50, otherwise called the Marlon Sniper, was shot at the intersection of William Street and Upper West Street about 11:50 a.m. It is reported that Dyer, a deportee, was pounced upon by two masked men armed with handguns. They shot him in the upper body, then escaped along William Street. Dyer was transported to Kingston Public Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Investigators say Dyer was a senior member of the Upsetter gang based in the Hannahtown area and was linked to a number of serious crimes, including the sexual assault of women in the community. The police high command has implemented measures to prevent reprisals from rival gangs in the Kingston Western Police Division. The cops say they are keeping a close watch on sections of West Street, Matthews Lane, Golden Heights, Wellington Street, Bond Street, sections of Racecourse Lane, and the general Hannahtown area. Golden maintains a PNP opposition to current version of constitutional reform bill. Opposition leader Mark Golding has again criticized the constitutional reform bill and insisted that the opposition will not support the legislation. Mr. Golding, speaking at a meeting of his People's National Party in St. Elizabeth on Sunday evening, again expressed a concern about the powers that would be given to the Prime Minister to select the President of the Republic. He described the provision in the legislation as a danger to democracy. The parliamentary opposition has withdrawn its participation on the Joint Select Committee of Parliament reviewing the bill.
The Prime Minister can put it into Parliament and they can pass a resolution approving his choice as President, and the opposition can't stop it. And then having installed a President who will do his bidding, that President now has the power under this new constitutional legislation they brought to appoint 3 senators. So the opposition will no longer be in a position to block any resolution that requires a 2/3 majority. Now, right now, states of emergency cannot be extended without a 2/3 majority in both the House and the Senate. So with this new system they're coming with, Jamaica can be put under a permanent state of emergency if the Prime Minister so wants. Nothing can go so. We can't support that. That is a recipe for dictatorship.
Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.